of a nation. President Joe Biden issues a call for national unity, but did he make a primetime speech too partisan? Candidate profile. Learn how a Maryland Republican congressman balances his faith with politics. What we believe. A noted theologian invites rediscovery of the beauty of the Catholic faith. And soon to be blessed. The pontiff known as the Smiling Pope moves closer to possible sainthood. On EWTN News Nightly for Friday, September 2nd, 2022. Thank you so much for being with us tonight on this feast of St. Ingrid of Sweden. I'm Tracy Sable. President Joe Biden is off to Camp David for the weekend, but it's his speech last night in Philadelphia that is still causing an uproar among critics who called it everything but unifying. Today, the president addressed the controversy. White House correspondent Owen Jensen reports.
Tracy, good evening to you. As President Joe Biden spoke from Philadelphia last night, a lot of reaction poured in. One top Republican official tweeted her summary of the president's speech and boiled it down to 5 words. In Philadelphia, President Joe Biden tears into his political opponents.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And he adds a clarification.
Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology.
Reaction to the president's harsh attacks followed on social media. In a tweet, GOP Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel summed up the speech this way: angry, divisive, political, stubborn, failure. And Senator Marco Rubio also reacted: angry man smears half of the people of the country he is supposed to lead and promise to unite. Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson called it a political speech and not unifying, a theme the president focused on in his 2021 inauguration speech.
I don't think it was a presidential speech. I don't think it'll be well received. It was divisive, and that's very troubling to me whenever you aren't addressing the serious issues from border security to inflation that he's responsible for and needs to provide answers for.
And early this afternoon, right after an American Rescue Plan event at the White House, the president was asked if he considers all Trump supporters to be a threat to the country.
Come on, look, guys. Keep trying to make that case. I don't consider any Trump supporters a threat. Everything we stand for rests on the platform of democracy.
President Biden also said today that those who voted for President Trump did not vote for an attack on the Capitol building and did not vote to overrule an election, that they did vote instead for a philosophy he put forward. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.
A federal judge in Florida appears to have given a boost to former President Donald Trump. Inside of a Palm Beach courthouse yesterday, the judge signaled that she was open to the idea of having an outside legal expert, that is, examine the documents seized by the FBI in its search of the former president's home last month. The judge asked Department of Justice lawyers what would be the harm of an independent review. A decision is expected soon. And for more on this, we go to Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project and former law clerk for Justice Neil Gorsuch. Mike, welcome back. Always great to have you on. A lot to get to today, but first, help us unpack this court hearing yesterday. Why does the former president want an independent review? And also talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the president has the absolute constitutional power to declassify anything he wants. He has the statutory power under the Presidential Records Act to keep these records at Mar-a-Lago, his office of the former president. The Congress provides him and his staff, his federally funded staff, security clearances. They have Secret Service protection. They have secure facilities called SCIFs. This was an unprecedented, unnecessary, and unlawful home raid of a former president. And I don't understand why the Biden Justice Department is so opposed to having an Article 3 judge appoint an independent special master to check their homework. It seems like they're trying to cover up something here, and maybe that cover-up could involve the Russian collusion documents that President Trump declassified with his memo on January 19th, and a personal copy of which he kept at Mar-a-Lago, and maybe that was the purpose of this raid because these documents are so damning for Biden, Obama, Hillary, Susan Rice, Clapper, Brennan, the FBI, and the intel community, because they cooked up the Russian collusion scheme to influence the 2016 records, and maybe President Trump has those goods.
And Mike, earlier today, the Department of Justice released the list of items it says it found at Mar-a-Lago, and they include empty folders marked classified. What do you make of this list, and why is it being released now?
The Judge Cannon asked for this detailed inventory because I don't think she has confidence in the Biden Justice Department, and she shouldn't. The Biden Justice Department leaked out that Merrick Garland did not personally approve this raid. That was a lie. They leaked out that Trump had nuclear documents apparently to try to justify this raid. That was a lie. They leaked out that President Biden and the Biden White House did not have any involvement with this raid. That was a lie. President Biden had to waive President Trump's claim of executive privilege, and he did that through Deputy White House Counsel to the President Biden, Jonathan Seuss. So there is a track record of leaks and lies. They even leaked to Newsweek illegally from the grand jury. They've been leaking from this affidavit where they say that this information is so sensitive and so potentially damaging to our national security, we can't release it to the public, but they're selectively leaking from it. They went to a biased magistrate judge, Bruce Reinhart, who just recused from President Trump's civil lawsuit versus Hillary Clinton on Russian collusion on June 22nd. He had this 2017 Facebook post trashing Trump. So what made his bias go away? They judge shopped when they went to this judge because Garland leaked out that he deliberated for weeks to get this home raid. So if this home raid was so necessary, why did they wait 18 months to go get these records? Why did Garland wait weeks to order the raid? Why did they wait 3 days after they went to this biased judge to execute the raid? I think Judge Cannon understands there is a lot of potential missteps and maybe even worse from the Biden Justice Department here, and that's why this special master is so important.
Yeah, on a different note, I want to get your take on President Biden's speech last night in Philadelphia, the language, the tone, and the motive. What do you think?
It was disgusting. President Trump had 74 million Americans vote for him in the 2020 election. If Biden wants to write off 74 million Americans, half the country, as illegitimate and terrorists, this is unbelievable. It was everything about this speech was divisive, angry, dangerous. He had Marine Corps props behind him, the ominous red lighting. It was just a disgusting speech, and it just shows that President Biden is just becoming a pathetic politician, frankly.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about that backdrop, too, last night. We have about a minute or so left, Mike, but I'm curious, what else are you following?
Well, I think that what we're going to see with this case is this is going to, as people learn more about this home raid on President Trump, they're going to find out that this was a hoax. And it was a hoax just like the Russian collusion hoax, the two impeachment hoaxes. This is a hoax because they are terrified that President Trump has these crossfire hurricane records that are going to blow the lid on Obama, Hillary, Biden, the deep state. And they are terrified President Trump is going to run for office again because if he runs, he's going to win the primary and he's going to win the general. And they are terrified about this, and they are really weaponizing and politicizing the intel community and the Justice Department here.
All right, Mike. Well, thank you so much, as always, for coming on. I always appreciate your insights.
Thank you.
Maryland's congressional delegation is dominated by Democrats. Congressman Andy Harris is the lone Republican in the state. He represented Maryland's Eastern Shore for over a decade and is running for re-election in November. Capitol Hill correspondent Eric Rosales has more.
I'm in Denton, Maryland, home of the 1st Congressional District and home to the Caroline Summerfest 2022. I caught up with Congressman Dr. Andy Harris as he met with constituents.
We need people who are willing to serve, again, not their own personal interests, but the interests of the community at whole, the interests of the nation at whole.
Congressman Andy Harris says his life and public service are guided by his Catholic faith.
Belief in God is what this country was founded on. Obviously, if you're Catholic, you believe in God, but you also believe in the Old Testament, you believe in the New Testament, you believe that Jesus Christ gave us a set of principles by which we are to live.
And what separates him from his opponent, former Maryland State Delegate Heather Mazier?
I think it's a belief that this culture is on the wrong track, not the right track. I think my opponent would rather we go further down this wrong track, and I think that doesn't end well for the country.
Congressman Harris, who is a medical doctor, says Democrats want to get rid of conscious protections, forcing those in the medical field to perform abortions and other surgeries.
Now we're talking about requiring physicians to participate in gender-affirming transgender surgery. And that's just not right. I mean, if you have a deeply held religious or conscience belief against whether it's doing an abortion, whether it's doing gender-affirming therapy, you shouldn't be forced to do it.
Congressman Harris is the chief sponsor of the Conscious Protection Act, which would strengthen the rights of healthcare providers to object to medical procedures like abortions due to moral or religious objections. He tells me Democrats' agenda goes beyond healthcare providers.
Well, not only that, but teaching children what I think they shouldn't be taught. The fact that you're going to replace the family with a school system, or you're going to displace, the churches. You're not going to respect conscience rights.
And adds, building back our culture starts on Capitol Hill.
We should ask ourselves, anything we attempt to do is whether it strengthens the family or it doesn't. Everything. And a bill that comes to the floor that doesn't strengthen the family or somehow creates incentive for weakening the family, we just shouldn't do.
I reached out to Heather Mazier, but she did not respond to any of my requests for an interview. In Denton, Maryland, Eric Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.
A 35-year-old suspect is in custody for attempting to kill Argentina's vice president. Video shows the man being taken down by a security detail last night after his gun misfired at point-blank range while Cristina Fernandez greeted political supporters outside of her home. She is facing corruption charges from her term as president. Argentina's current leader condemns the attack. Meanwhile, Pope Francis is expressing solidarity with Argentina's vice president following the failed assassination attempt. The Holy Father's message included prayers that democratic values will be respected in his home country. The Vatican Secretary of State urges against an intensified war in Ukraine. Vatican News reports that Cardinal Pietro Parolin is renewing his call for peace, especially with safety concerns about a damaged nuclear facility in Ukraine. The top Vatican diplomat tells Italian TV that he regrets negotiations have not stopped more than 6 months of fighting. Many residents in Jackson, Mississippi still have little or no water. The Army Corps of Engineers is working to fix pumping and wastewater problems. The State National Guard is distributing bottled water. Catholic Charities of Jackson is joining in that effort. NASA will try again tomorrow afternoon to launch Artemis. Its new moon rocket crews worked through the issues that grounded its last launch attempt, and now they're keeping an eye on the weather.
The only thing that's going to get in the way, if it does, is summertime in Florida, the rainstorms, the lightning storms.
The first Artemis flight is an unmanned test mission. If everything goes well, NASA will use the rocket to send astronauts back to the moon. Coming up, a South American country celebrates its first Catholic cardinal. Plus, a noted theologian is inviting rediscovery of the beauty of Catholic faith. The citizens of Paraguay have given a festive welcome home to the first Catholic cardinal in their country's history.
¡Viva la Iglesia Católica! ¡Viva la Catedral Metropolitana!
70-year-old Adalberto Martinez Flores was one of 20 new cardinals created last weekend by Pope Francis at St. Peter's Basilica. He became the Archbishop of Asuncion last February. Well, a new online study course examines the beauty and history of the Catholic faith.
Come away with a deeper understanding and appreciation for who we are as Catholics, what we believe, as well as why we believe it.
The study package from Ascension Press is called What We Believe and seeks to educate newcomers to the church. It also wants to reignite the beauty of faith for those who may have grown a little stagnant in their prayer life. We go now to the co-author of the online study package, Dr. Marcellino D'Ambrosio, also known as Dr. Italy, from Catholic Distance University. Dr. Italy, welcome back. Great to see you. Talk to us about the timing of this program. Why did you release this course now?
There's a lot of talk, Tracy, about the problems that we have out there with youth. There's a lot of kids who are not interested. They're looking for adventure. They're looking for intimacy. They're looking for home. They're looking for community. And all these things are things they don't associate with the church. And this is exactly what being a Catholic Christian is about. It's really a journey together into the heart of the Father, where we're loved infinitely and intimately, and where really it's the greatest adventure going. And that's what we wanted to communicate, not only to the youth out there, but to many of people my age who have grandkids or who have kids and really don't know how to talk to them, don't know how to share the faith with them in a way that's convincing, that's compelling. So this is for everyone. It's for those kids, but it's also for us who have been going to church and praying and worrying about where the youth are right now. So it's really for that purpose that we did this study.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. So how is your study package? I'm curious, how is it different from others related to the Catholic Church?
Well, first of all, this is organized as a group study, but it doesn't feel like a group study with someone standing up in front of the room with just a talking head. There are three of us who are traipsing through the streets of the Eternal City in Rome on video. So people are sitting there watching this travel experience into the heart of our faith, into the depth of our heritage, 2,000 years of heritage in one city that's the center of the church. And they're hearing us have a conversation. And the three people involved here are all people who are crazy about the Lord and his church. We didn't start necessarily as religious types. We were born Catholic, but myself, I was a rock musician when I was 16 years old. Andrew Swafford, my colleague, he was a football player. And so we were after adventure, but we found a greater adventure in following Christ in the richness and fullness of the Catholic faith. So I think the style of the presentation is very approachable. It's very different from what people are going to expect from some course, a catechism course or an RCIA thing. And this is a very customizable experience. People can do this in a small group in their parish, but they can do it husband and wife at home or family at home, or they can do it individually, or they can just use components of it and not do it as a disciplined study. The book itself is something that you can read and give away to help people, not just Catholics, but even atheists, understand what the Catholic faith is really about. So it's very broad, it's engaging all the senses, but it's also very customizable, very flexible.
Yeah, and I'm curious, what about those who, attend Mass regularly? I mean, how can this course improve their spiritual life?
Well, I was going to Mass regularly all throughout my life. I never stopped going to Mass, even when I was doing professional rock music. But we need to, all of us, have a deeper encounter with Christ, not just once, not just one conversion experience, but there's always more. He always wants to bring us deeper. And it's very easy for us who are regular churchgoers to get on a maintenance kind of path. We're just kind of on autopilot. We're not growing a whole lot, but we're sustaining. It could be slipping back, but at least we're holding firm. Well, the Lord wants us to do more than that. He wants us to move forward. And it's moving forward, discovering more of who he is and the rich heritage of our faith that lights us up. And that's what we need to be good evangelizers. If we want our kids to be interested, we've got to be growing. We've got to be on fire. We've got to be alive. And I think that's what this study will do for everybody who gets involved in it in any way. The whole study, watching just the videos or reading the book, any way you go, you're going to get excited. You're going to be ignited by the light of the Holy Spirit and fall deeper in love with the Lord and with his church.
All right, we have about 30 seconds left or so, but quickly, Dr. Italy, anything else you want people to know about this? And also, where can people go to get more information about it?
They need to go to ascensionpress.com. That's ascensionpress.com. And they can instantly download the videos. They can stream them. And they can also purchase all the materials, the physical book, or they can get an ebook. It's amazing how flexible this whole thing is. So go to ascensionpress.com. What We Believe is the name of the study. And it's all about the beauty and richness of the Catholic faith.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Up next, how Pope Francis challenged a group of media professionals to witness to truth and beauty. Plus, the Pope, known for his smile, becomes one step closer to possible sainthood. Pope Francis encourages artists to be preachers of beauty and truth.
De lo humano, de lo divino, de lo bello.
The Vitae Summit at the Vatican encourages using the arts to foster a culture of hope and unity. Artists, executives, and world leaders at the Vitae Global Foundation aim to make a positive impact on people through the arts, mass media, and entertainment. Joining us now from Rome is Luis Quinelli, founder and president of Vitae Global. Luis, great to be with you today. Can you tell us more about this event and also the artists that participated?
Well, it was a great time. It was a two-day event. We were sharing meaningful conversations, great conversations. It was interesting to have a diverse group, different kind of artists. We had directors, we had actors, we had singers, and we had the Pope too on the second day in the Academy of Science. So it was an extraordinary time.
Can you talk about the Holy Father's speech and what he sort of highlighted during that speech?
Well, I think the most important thing or the most important moment was when he said that the artists are the preachers of beauty. It is a very interesting concept. It was a blessing to listen to this kind of concept, because we believe the same, that the artists have an important role, but this kind of definition was a beautiful definition. They are the preachers of the beauty. He was explaining to us that beauty helps people to connect to God, and so for this reason the artist has an important role there in some way, and I am saying that, no, not the Pope, but a role of agents of healing. Beauty connects us with the Lord, so it was a very important concept, a very deep concept.
And what about the artists? What have you heard from them, and what did they think of the event?
Well, they were very happy. They were totally excited. They were experiencing a very extraordinary event. We started on Wednesday to a visit to the Vatican Museum, a private visit. Then we have a time of reflection in the Sixtine Chapel. Then we have a private dinner there in the museum. And then next day we went to the Academy of Science and we had the meeting with the Pope. So everything was extraordinary. But you know, here in the Vatican is everything extraordinary. And they are really happy, excited, in some way shocked because of these extraordinary situations and beauty, surrounded by beauty, where you see there is beautiful things. So, yeah, they are really happy.
Yeah. We're running out of time, but I'm curious, what's next for your organization?
We were dreaming, we were thinking about different things. So, and on the other hand, Vitae as an organization, we are working on our own projects. For example, our next festival that is going to happen in Mexico City. It is going to happen in March next year. So, yeah, we are going to have the next summits. We don't have the date yet. We are going to have our next Vitae Fest, that is a festival in Mexico City in March 2023. And other things that are going to happen, and we'll let you know, obviously.
All right, sounds wonderful. And Luis, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today about all this. We appreciate it. God bless you. Finally tonight on Sunday, the smiling Pope will be one step closer to possible sainthood. Pope John Paul I, who served as leader of the Catholic Church for just 33 days in 1978, will be beatified. Pope Francis is scheduled to preside over the ceremony on Sunday at the Vatican. The Italian Pope, born Albino Luciani, had one of the shortest pontificates in church history. And you can watch the beatification of soon-to-be Blessed Pope John Paul I on Sunday at 4:30 a.m. Eastern on EWTN, and it will re-air Sunday evening at 7 p.m. We thank you for watching tonight. For the entire EWTN News Nightly team, I'm Tracy Sable. We're back on Tuesday with more news from a Catholic perspective. Good night and God bless.